This is Eric from Pack Hacker, and today we're taking a look at the Eagle Creek Cargo Hauler XT, which I've been testing for the past 3 weeks. Let's dive in. So we got a couple materials that we're working with here, and I'm gonna look at my notes to make sure that I don't get them wrong. But we've got 800D nylon Dabi, 1680D ballistic polyester, and recycled 200D polyester. So some of that's the interior, some of that's the exterior. We obviously have, this is some of the most durable material here and on these sides as well. So I'm very happy with how this has held up so far, and especially this material here because it is highly water resistant. Out in the rain and even like a wintry mix one day, and this did okay. I have noticed that it kind of picks up dirt a little bit. I think that actually might be from a car or something like that, pulling it in and out of a car there on the bottom, but it's very easy to clean. I left that on there just so you could see it, but that happened a few times. You just wipe it and it's clean, so no real issues there. Very happy with the materials here. We have YKK zippers. We kind of flip that up so you can see the big main compartment zippers there. They do have nice pulls, in my personal opinion, the metal, and then they have these little loops here which make it easy to grab onto. Some of the other zippers, as you can see in the corner here, just have the metal, no extra pull. And that's fine to me. These are a little bit loud, but not the end of the world if you ask me. And before I go too much further, I should mention that this does come in a few different sizes. So as you can see there, this is the 40 liter, which is probably the most Pack Hacker size for a carry-on. There's also a medium checked, which is 90 liters, and a large checked, which is 120 liters. And as far as colorways go, I should mention, let me look at my notes real quick to make sure I get these right. There is charcoal, earth red, glacier blue, and safari brown. So you have options when it comes to stuff like that. But as far as the external components go, we have 4 compression straps on the side. These 2 over here are really easy to use because there's no buckles or anything like that. You just kind of cinch it down to save some space. Got these nice strap keepers here as well to keep things organized. On this side, we have buckles because it goes over the zipper, so you pop these open to get to the zipper here, and we have a nice little fabric welt to keep the zipper away from water, and these are from Duraflex, the hard plastic hardware. So, and then you have the same, on this side, the same little strap keepers here. So you can cinch this down to make it smaller, make it work better for your needs. We have handles on this top part here and also handles on the side, which makes it very easy to grab this thing when you need to grab it from wherever you're grabbing it from, whether it's the overhead bin on a train or something like that. And one last thing to mention is that we do have like reinforced corners here. These seams have extra plastic on them to make sure that they don't bust. Those are some of the highest contact areas. We have them up here as well, which is just a nice little attention to detail, I think, to make sure that this thing will last you as long as it probably should. So when it comes to a harness system, before we get into the wheels and the telescoping handle, we should talk about that you can carry this in backpack mode as well. So we have shoulder straps that are stowed inside of here. They pop out and they attach to these triangle rings down here. So those attach there. As you can see, these are pretty basic shoulder straps, and there really isn't a back panel, so it's not the most comfortable carry, but you can do it, which is a nice feature, I think. And you can attach these like this and then button them up, and then this turns into a duffel. I know I don't have these attached right now, but you can go backpack mode, duffel mode, or roller mode, which I think is very unique. And also, if you're in, roller mode, you just completely stow these away and they're out of sight and out of mind. They do take up some space inside the pack, but I think that's kind of worth it for the features that you get. The other 2 modes aren't super comfortable, but you can do them if you need to, which is nice if you're going over a bunch of cobblestones and stuff like that. On the handle here, there's a pretty large button, which is nice. You can really push it easily. I will say, as I get a little closer, I'm not sure how close focusing this lens is. There we go. No real like grip or padding or anything on here. It's just kind of a pretty basic handle. Not the end of the world, but not the most comfortable. And when it gets wet, it is a bit slippery, which I think is worth noting, but I don't know. Hopefully while you're on vacation, you don't get caught in the rain and have to roll this in the rain, but it'll just be a little bit slippery. You can really kind of get a nice grip on it, and then these materials are going to keep things dry. So not the end of the world if it rains, but not the most features when it comes to carrying this thing with the handle, I should say. So this is a 2-wheel bag, not a 4-wheel bag, so you can't move it around when it's just standing like this, but I do find this to be a very rugged carry, if that makes sense. Like, you can really pull this over things you think you probably shouldn't be able to pull it over. I think that's because the wheels are they're not free form. They just can only go 2 ways, forward and backwards. So I do like that, but you don't have as much versatility. The handle does have 4 different stopping points. We have the top one here, a little bit further down, a little bit further down, and a little bit further down. And then after that, you're going all the way down. So pretty easy to maneuver. Not the best handle that I've come across, but it's comfortable and it gets the job done. So as you can see now, I am in backpack mode. And as I said earlier, it's not the most comfortable, but it really depends how you pack this thing out, because the top of the roller is now the back panel. So if you have, a bunch of soft clothing, it can be pretty comfortable, but if you have a bunch of rugged gear, it might not be the most comfortable. I will say it is nice, as I said earlier, you can take this thing over like cobblestones, but after a while it's gonna be bumpy and not super comfortable, and you don't wanna break your bag. So you can either switch to backpack mode, or you can transition pretty easily to just go with duffel bag mode. Sorry I knocked the mic, but I think we're still good. So we've just got one secondary compartment to work with, and it is on the top here. So I should actually mention that where you stow the shoulder straps, you could shove something in there while the shoulder straps are in there. When the shoulder straps are out, this is obviously still open, so you can't close it, so you can't use it when that is going on. Let me pull that out of there real quick. But we have one actual secondary compartment. It is on the top here. And because of where it's located, right now it's just like, okay, this is the duffel bag, this is the end pocket of the duffel bag, pretty common. But when you have it in backpack mode, it's up like this, and it's kind of like a top pocket that you can access kind of a little bit easier. So it is a nicely placed pocket, I think, and nice to have one on the outside and not just be stuck with everything in the main compartment. So in here right now, I just have a pair of headphones and my phone, two things I like to have quick access to, because obviously I need to use my phone, and I like to have access to music, podcasts, whatever, so I have my headphones. But inside here, we do have a little bit of organization, which was a bit surprising to me off the jump. There is a mesh pocket here. Sorry, it's hard for me to reach this, but we do have a key clip here, a little bit odd design, just a circle that you could kind of throw things on there. In my head, there's a chance that your keys could come off of this, but it didn't happen to me in testing. I had my keys on there for quite a while and they didn't pop off. But nice to have a mesh organizer here to kind of just separate things. So this is a pretty big pocket. You can fit some good amount of stuff here. And if you put small stuff in here, you don't want to lose it. So nice to have a little bit of segmentation inside of here, and we'll see a similar story once we get into the main compartment. If you've been enjoying this video so far, make sure you subscribe to the channel and throw a like on this video so we can continue making content like this to help you travel smarter. So with a pack like this, the party is in the main compartment. That's where you're gonna stow most of your gear. That's where everything's going. So as I said earlier, we do have these compression straps here that you have to pop open every time you go into that main compartment. This isn't really a bag that, at least me personally, I'm gonna be getting into all the time. It's kind of like get it there, leave this at my hotel, Airbnb, with family, wherever I'm staying, take a day pack and take that elsewhere. So not a huge deal, but if you are gonna be getting in and out of this a bunch, not the best thing to be getting in your way. As you saw, that buckle just kind of got in my way when I was opening this. So throwing this open now, as you can see, we have a nice pocket up here on the top. This is actually where I stowed my DOP kit. It just kind of worked out that way. Depending on the trip, I would probably throw socks and underwear up here, or some kind of clothing, maybe dirty clothing, as I wear it. It's nice to kind of have this up here on the top like a traditional roller would have. But that's just kind of the way it worked out. I had my tech down here because I wanted more quick access to that. I don't necessarily need my DOP kit right away. So I just have it stowed in there because I know where it is, but I don't necessarily need it all the time. So, and it's not super heavy either. So I wasn't worried about, if I had my headphones and my, some kind of electronic up here flinging around, I wouldn't want it to break. So that's just kind of how it worked out. I explained that too much. Let's move on. So in this main compartment here, as you can see, I got a big sweatshirt right here, enough space for that. A tech pouch that I have been reviewing here at Pack Hacker. And then we have a nice compression, like I've been calling it, like a X down here. So it's actually pretty easy to maneuver with. You just kind of slide it up like that, and you have this extra material. To tighten it, you pull that down like that. A little bit of extra material down there, but not a huge deal for me personally. If you want to grab your gear, I just have some packing tubes down here. Pop that open, or depending on what you have down there, you can kind of pull it out without it. Like if you have stuff super compressed and you don't want it to uncompress in whatever way, you can kind of just slide it out, do whatever with it. But if I pop this open, you can kind of get a better look at what's going on in here. As you can see, we have the rails here from the handle, but nothing really else going on here. We have this organization up here, and the rest is just open space. But that's kind of how I prefer it for a bag like this. I don't want there to be a bunch of organization bogging me down. That's a personal preference. I know some people like to have a home for everything that they're, where they're gonna put their gear. But for me personally, I would rather use packing cubes, organizers, and stuff like that, and then just have a few bigger items left to float around. Because this is a big compartment, small stuff is gonna get lost. Like if you just had like the contents of your tech pouch floating around, it's gonna be hard to find a cable, but I can grab this pretty easily because it's pretty big, and then I know right where the cable is inside of here. So pretty happy with how this is designed. I do feel like maybe a lot of space is wasted up here because, I mean, I like this pocket, but with the shoulder straps where they are, I don't think there's a better solution for that. It's just a personal like thing in my head. Like, I wish that I could use this space more. But again, that's a personal thing. I'm traveling with a day pack or a sling. If you aren't, or if your day pack or sling are packed inside of here, you're gonna want a space to put, you know, your extra goodies up here on the top, like your phone or your headphones or something like that. Overall, though, very happy with the materials. The lack of organization, I think, is a good thing, and it just really depends at the end of the day how you like to travel and how you're going to travel. So there you have it, the Eagle Creek Cargo Hauler XT. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel. We'll see you in the next one.